Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Paramjeet and welcome to my channel Dr.Education. This is the fat series and we are talking about fat, why fat, how fat and why should you eat fat, how they are important and what harm they can do, what types of fat are important and we have already made two videos on this topic, and if you haven't seen them then you should first go and look at them because this is an extension of those videos, but obviously this is a little different aspect covering that topic. So in the last two videos we have seen that why we need fat in our diet, what is the importance, what is the purpose of fat, and why all the energy in our body is stored as fat, and why we cannot live without fat. Also, we have seen in the second video what are the types of fat, what is saturated fat, what is the difference between saturated, unsaturated, poly, monounsaturated and trans fats, why they are liquid, why some are solid, why fats some are good, some are bad. So we have seen all these things in the last two videos. So if you haven't seen them, then go back and check them out first and then come back to this video, because this video will tell us more about this topic. So today we are going to talk about how oils are extracted, what is the process in general, and what harms can these different types of processes can do to the oil, and then the most important thing which we are going to see today, what is the effect of heating on this oil. So let's start. In general, any kind of oil is extracted from three sources. The first source of oil is marine.
If you want to know about health and have health concerns, then subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon. You'll be notified about all upcoming videos.
Yes, the oil which we use in our vehicles, that is also oil. The second source of oil are plants, vegetables, seeds. Vegetable seeds are a good source of oil and oils can be extracted from them. Third source of oil is animals. Yes, we extract oils from the fish, we extract oils from livers, cod liver oil, and etc. etc. We can extract oils from any animal, but we don't. We extract it from some. So let's understand the process of this oil extraction, especially from vegetables. Why? Because edible oil, most oils which we use for eating, cooking are vegetable oils. And irrespective of what kind of seed we use, oils can be crude or refined. And there is a third type of oil, hydrogenated. You have to understand these three are different. Crude oil is the oil which is first extracted from the seed, no matter what process you use. If you use cold compression, compressing extractors, expellers, or if you use solvent extractors, if you use assisted with heat, still the oil which is produced from the seeds is crude. Crude oil may have impurities because seeds may have impurities. The process may have, the machineries may have impurities. Then the seeds which are used, the vegetable seeds, the oils which are produced, this is crude oil, may have its natural flavor, its natural color, and sometimes it has its odor, pungent, sometimes very strong odor. For example, mustard. Mustard oil, crude mustard oil is very strong. So what is the process of refining? Ideally, a process of refining means removing these impurities from this crude oil, removing the odor, deodorizing, removing the color by bleaching, and then extracting a purified oil which can be used for cooking, which is more safe for cooking from those aspects, meaning from impurities aspect, from color and from odor aspect, because nobody wants to cook with something which smells bad. or nobody wants to cook with something which might have impurities, might have bacteria, might have other things. Now, most important aspect of this is sometimes, or many industries, oil refineries, etc., they use heating along with this extraction. Heating for extracting more and more oils from these seeds. Now there are two aspects of it. If you heat the oil, each seed will give up more oil. But there are some side effects, obviously. But the same side effect apply when you cook the oil. Yes, because heating the oil before or heating the oil after doesn't have a difference. If heat is causing a problem, it will cause problem whenever it gets to the seed or to the oil. We'll come back to that again, but let's come back to the difference between crude and refined oil. So first thing which we see, crude oil may have impurities, refined oil is refined, ideally should be pure. Now there can be difference between brands and the process which they are using for refining these oils, so depending upon that, the quality of refined oil may differ. Then we ask, why should an oil be refined except just for purifying? No. Why a crude oil is refined? Just for purifying, removing these things? No, not just for that. But refining an oil increases its shelf life. Crude oil has a very low shelf life, very short shelf life. It will go rancid very soon. And you don't want to eat rancid oil, or you don't want to go buying oil on a daily basis. That is the reason why you don't find a lot of crude oil in the market, because crude oil gets rancid soon, so production is limited. While refined oil has a longer shelf life, so that's why the production of refined oil is much more as compared to crude oil. For example, extra virgin olive oil is crude oil, and refined olive oil is something refined oil. There is one more big difference and one more notable difference, that is the smoke point. The same oil in the crude form has a low smoke point, and the same oil in the refined form has a higher smoke point. Before this, why that is important, we'll discuss in some time. But before this, we have to see the third type of processing of oil. The third type of processing oil is intended to further increase the shelf life of the oil. Yes, that is done by hydrogenation of oil. This kind of oil, hydrogenated oil, if it is hydrogenated partially, it becomes more stable. That means its shelf life increases, and it becomes more tastier, it becomes more solid. That means a very liquid oil cannot be hydrogenated. A very solid oil is most likely hydrogenated or high in saturated fat, because we have seen that saturated fats are solids at room temperature and unsaturated fats are liquid at room temperature. So whenever oil is hydrogenated forcibly, partially, trans fat increases, that is harmful, but its shelf life increases. It does not go rancid very soon, it stays in the market more, good for the companies, and it tastes well, but it's very harmful. So hydrogenated oil is bad, partially hydrogenated to be specific. What happens if you actually hydrogenate it completely? All the four valencies of carbon atom will be filled with hydrogen, and then this oil will become saturated, completely saturated, and then it will become again it's harmful, because saturated fats are harmful if taken in a larger amount, because it will contain more fat. So ultimately, in spite that it will stay longer in the market, it's more tastier, it does not go rancid, but you can only take a very minimum amount of it, so you cannot use it daily for cooking. So that's why all these process needs understanding. Now, there is a difference between refined oil and hydrogenated oil. Refined oil may or may not be hydrogenated. So it's not one and the same. Let me tell you that. But in the process of heating, any oil may get hydrogenated because there is hydrogen in the environment. Yes, so some part will definitely get hydrogenated. So in that aspect, let's now go on to what happens when a oil is heated. There is something called a smoke point. Smoke point and there is something called as a flash point also. Every oil has a smoke point, that means, and it varies obviously. Smoke point means that at a temperature around which the oil generates fumes, smoke, and at that temperature the oil is actually generating a lot of bad particles, free radicals, and a lot of chemical reactions are happening which are harmful. So that's why an oil should not be heated till the smoke point, and different oils have different smoke points. Also, crude oils have lower smoke points and refined oils have higher smoke points. So if, for example, a extra virgin olive oil is taken, its smoke point will be somewhere around 160 to 190 degrees Celsius. And if you actually refine the same oil, its smoke point will increase to 200 to 240 degrees Celsius. And do you know that what is our usual normal cooking temperature at home? For frying, for shallow fry, what we do frying, we use 120 degrees centigrade. For deep frying, it's 160 to 180 degrees centigrade, and for baking, it's above 180 degrees centigrade, can reach to a lot of high as well. So technically, that's the reason why you don't use extra virgin olive oil for cooking, because extra virgin olive oil with a smoke point of 160 to 190, if you use for cooking, it will go beyond its smoke point or around the smoke point and then generate a lot of bad particles, and it will be harmful for you. That's why you use refined olive oil for cooking. Let's take another example. Nowadays we have heard about canola oil. Do you know that virgin canola oil, that means unrefined canola oil, has a smoke point of 107 degrees Celsius. That means you actually cannot use virgin canola oil for any kind of cooking, and you have to refine it. Once you refine it, its smoke point rises to 204. Now this temperature of smoke point can be used for cooking purposes, for even baking, for even this. Now that's not the only thing which determines what is the safety of a oil to eat, because there are many other factors which play, including the innate fatty acid composition of the oil, which determines already oil has how many saturated fats, unsaturated fats, especially essential fatty acids, omega-3s, omega-6s, and lots more. That topic will be covered in the next coming videos. But you have to understand that at the smoke point there is oxidation as well as hydrolysis of these oils at this smoke point, and generation of a lot of bad particles. So ideally, by this logic, you should stop cooking with oils. But obviously you cannot change everything, but that's not possible because we cook with oils. So guys, the point is, refined oils are not so bad. If so, if they would have been, the government would have banned them already. Like for example, do you know that mustard oil is actually banned for cooking in the US and Canada. Do you know the reason? Because in 1970, there were some studies which suggested that in animals it is found that some component, that is erucic oil found in mustard oil, can lead to increased risk of heart diseases at high doses. So on the basis of this study in 1970, the US and Canadian government have banned mustard oil from edible use, from eating. In US and Canada, you can only use mustard oil for massages in those countries. So don't you think if refined oil was actually having so much of trans fats and they were so much bad, the government, the FDAs would have banned them? So there is a difference between refined oil and hydrogenated oil. Not all refined oils are hydrogenated, but if there is an oil which is hydrogenated, FDA says that they should mention it on the label. So again, check out the oil. If they say it is partially hydrogenated, it has more trans fats. So don't take that oil. Partially hydrogenated is the word. Fully hydrogenated, again it goes into the saturated fats. So you have to see the label for percentage of saturated fats, partially hydrogenated words, trans fats percentages, and whether it was hydrogenated or not. And be aware, there is a lot more to know about this topic. Even I'm learning. Stay with me. In the next video, we'll see what research have said, that what concentration of what type of fatty acid, saturated, unsaturated, shows what kind of health benefits. So if you have not already seen the other videos, go back and see the videos. It's available on my channel. There is a separate playlist for fats and you have to subscribe that playlist so that you can get a notification of the upcoming videos. And don't forget to press the bell icon, because only then you will get the notification. If you have any questions, feel free to write them to me. Obviously, I don't take guarantee about any brand or any company, but the general idea needs to be explained to the public. So that's what I'm doing. Follow my channel and share these videos for me. Thank you so much.